Okay. All right. Sorry for the delay. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, and I just want to double check to make sure that it was right. And hi everyone. Welcome to the WuWu Show. And today I should say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Also, it's 4th of July for my fellow Americans everywhere in the world, and it means a lot today for me to actually take the time to do a live stream. It's been so long since I have been able to do so. I'm a little under the weather. It happens, I guess, when you're working so much and all of a sudden you get a little break. I'm on summer vacation right now from teaching, and then my body just shut down today. But it's nice since I had a little, just a little break, and feeling pretty good, even though I'm a little sick. But thank you so much for watching, and if you like the show today, please definitely share it with your loved ones. And most of all, just to let you know, I'm an English and Mandarin Chinese bilingual performer, singer, music educator, motivational speaker, who loves and enjoys all aspects of life, travel, and culture. And you can see that's pretty much what I said on my LinkedIn and also on my Instagram page. And I know the topic that I'm going to be talking about today, it's a little bit heavy. And the topic today is called The Color of Money. How much would it cost for you to sell your soul? I know it's ironic to pick a topic like this for a 4th of July holiday. I didn't mean to. I've been so busy and living in Kaohsiung, Taiwan at the moment. I myself forget that the time, because the holidays here and the holidays in the States is so different. But for me, regardless what, Uncle Sam loves his money, and we're gonna talk about money today and how much would it cost you to sell your soul. A lot of people who've seen my show, WuWu Show, before know that I'm more of a sunny girl. And everybody knows me also as Miss Sunny, Miss Sunny Girl, Miss Cindy. My show is a lot being watched by my students, usually not on live because sometimes I do it pretty late or when they're in school. But usually when they do watch the show, they tell me and what they've seen on my show. So please bear with me. I keep it pretty PG-13 since most of my students are junior high and high schoolers. But the topic that I'm going to be talking about today is pretty heavy, considering that for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 now, we've been through a lot together, not just us, but the little ones. So I guess if they can get through COVID, I'm sure whatever I'm going to be talking about tonight here in Kaohsiung would be something that they can hold close to themselves and maybe benefit them in their future, either in their studies or in their career path. Why I said the color of money? Because sometimes in lives, either for survival or either for your own vanity, we tend to cheat ourselves or sell ourselves short. And for me to be able to even say that out loud, to even admit it out loud, is because I've been there. And for me, the worst comment, besides stalkers, but the worst comment that I've ever gotten was, why would I need to hear, why would I need to listen to a music educator giving advice on business or finance? Just to give you a little bit of, oh, hi, Chi Chi. Thanks for watching on the Facebook side. So good to see you. So, for that reason, let me just let you know. It was because when I was younger, I was in a rat race like everybody else, chasing the dream. And there were many moments in my life that I almost went there. Did I sell my soul for a lot of money? I wasn't good enough then. But did I sell myself short? Not often. But there were times that I believed, especially in a corporate setting, back in Rochester, New York, and also recent past in Kaohsiung. Some of the jobs that I've had, I actually thought that I stay here long enough, someone will appreciate me for what I'm offering. And you know what? Today is going to be like tough, harsh, quick talk. My students know that about me is that's a bunch of BS. When people smell that you're kind and when people smell that you're nice, they're going to take advantage of you. One out of, I can't even say, people will take advantage of you. And like I said, my students, Boyuan, hi baby. I think your dad or you're watching, but thank you so much for watching. So, you know, my students sometimes watch the show with their parents, and I remember Boyuan is one of my good friend's student and is following me. But thank you so much for watching the show. So let's get back to the topic. I say bunch of BS is because most, and you know, anyone who's been there, most leaders sometimes run and they hide behind their insecurities and they hide behind their childhood pain. I feel like all of us, somewhere deep down, has been burned or has been hurt somewhere. Some people deal with it better, some people don't. And they harbor that pain for a long time and they carry on through their adulthood, and sometimes they carry on through their career. In my case, a lot of times my boss, it's you, hi sweetie. A lot of times I feel like the big boss isn't the real issue because we don't get to meet them. And sometimes the big boss may value the kind of people that we are, but guess what? They don't see us. It's the people between us and the big boss that controls the whole picture. It's like what I call the middleman. The middleman controls the middleman controls the whole game. And usually the middleman knows the big rule and they bend the rule to survive for themselves. And sometimes some of those middlemen are kind. Sometimes they will viciously hurt you, either physically or they will hurt you emotionally, sometimes mentally. And I've seen, and of course, everything is discretion. I'll just let you know certain fields that I've been in. I've seen my managers whom has dated someone, what we call office, relationship, because of that person wants to be done with that relationship. They threaten them to stay in a relationship or else they will fire them and find ways to do so. And guess what? They succeeded. And you know, with all of us dealing with COVID, a lot of the people around me, some good, some bad, and most of my friends now, you know, not gonna tell you my age, but mainly everyone is either very successful or they're still in a rat race. I got out pretty much 10 years ago. I started doing my own business when I moved back to Taiwan, but I was in the rat race for pretty much 20 years of my life. And I hustle my butt off just so I wouldn't have to be back in a corporate setting. Me saying that doesn't mean corporate world is bad. Me saying that to you is to let you know it takes a certain caliber and personalities to survive in a world that I consider very dangerous. When our next generation is being faced, oh, hi, Miss Annie. Hi, Jared. Thanks for watching. When our next generation is being faced with what we're setting up for them in their future, I'm very worried. And because I choose to be in an education field, I'm not impressed, nor am I excited what we have handed down to our next generation. But I believe we can do better. And when I say we can do better, that means what I would like to share with you today, probably most of you already know what to do. It's just that you're not doing it. Our world is so fragile right now. And there's two worlds in our lives right now. One is the physical world that we do when it comes to our jobs. And there are people like me who do both, which is the virtual world, where since COVID, or actually for me, I was remote teaching already before COVID. So when COVID actually really hit, a lot of us had to go full time for remote jobs. And we got so comfortable being in our bubble that a lot of the people are not going back to the corporate world. And for me, the biggest lesson I've learned from my mom and dad was about striving a balance in life. Without balance, this world would not turn in its natural course. And I find that very important. So, you know, the message that I'm offering today, that's why I asked the question before. You're thinking, why should I take an advice from what you would consider a music teacher? Well, it was because I was in that place, that dark, dark place for a long time. And for me right now, owning my own business, collaborating with people with business. I do a lot of project managing and project sales. Sometimes now more international online for education, and I'm blessed to be able to do so. I have my freedom, but that's the price I pay. So I have to hustle because I don't have what you would consider working in a professional setting, a steady income. Some people are fit for that, some people aren't. So my first tip to you, since today I was talking about how to survive without selling your soul too much, is knowing your limits. Where's your limit in life? How much will you go? But mostly, do you have someone in your life that can be there for you as a guide and letting you know that you trust so much to say, hey, you're falling. Hey, you're going deep, and I'm worried about you. These people that you think are saying negative things to, some of these people that are actually telling you the truth, they actually love you. Don't doubt it. Sometimes in this world, it's the worst character of people sometimes overly blow sunshine up your butt. I said it, yes, I didn't use the A word. I know some of my students are watching with their parents. People who blow too much sunshine up your butt, you gotta watch out for those people. So when you feel that, we can't predict everything in life, but we for sure can tell ourselves how much we're willing to give to gain what we can have in our lives. Corporate world can also work that way. When you're young, any of my students or any young person that's watching the show right now, I totally advise when you're in your 20s, go work at any jobs that you can find. Anything from small company to even mamas and papas shops to corporate world. Because every boss, every company, every operation works differently. I don't care if everybody says, oh, corporate job is the same, blah, 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 blah. No, they're not. You're going to run into, sometimes you will run into someone who's kind enough to guide you, or someone who's kind enough to give you that spotlight so that they don't take all the credit. Very few, very rare, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I have met people like that. And currently, I am working with someone like that in one of my jobs, my educational jobs. And I'm grateful because I'm learning a lot from this person. So for me to say, surviving in a corporate world when you're young, go do it. Go in knowing you are learning. Go in and know where is your limit for you to say, okay, I've learned what I can here without losing my soul and also without losing your integrity. I find integrity very important. I've seen people who slept their way up. I'm not judging because I'm not that person. But the people who slept their way up, trust me, sooner or later, they would also get hurt. It's a vicious cycle. I always, and I've been doing live streams for about 4 to 5 years now. And on most of my live streams, and for my educational live streams, I have said, how well do you sleep at night? And when I say that is because I find all of us get so numb from our pain. And a lot of us through COVID has to rehash out that pain to re-heal it or re-deal with it, because we were so isolated that when you're so numb from that pain, you're not feeling it, you ended up hurting others. When I say, how well do you sleep at night? What I mean is, do you find peace at the end of the day before you go to bed? Do you find peace with yourself? Have you harmed anybody? Have you harmed anything? Or have you harmed yourself? That's not good either. If you know that whole day you've done your best, you didn't do anything wrong, even the mistakes that you made, we've all made mistakes, and you can learn from it, but it isn't so harmful that you're really extremely harming someone. Everybody knows that limit. I don't even have to tell. If I have to explain that to you, I think there's a character problem with that person. If you know you've done your best and you have not hurt anyone, anything, or any place, you're in a good place. I believe I'm one of those people, even though I said I believe in karma, sometimes I find karma comes back very slow. But recently, maybe because the world around us is moving so dark, so fast, karma seems to be something that I've noticed that people are learning life lessons, hard life lessons, very fast recently. I do believe everyone deserves a chance. I really do. But that chance is all depending on yourself, how you handle that stress. And I find corporate world seems to bring out the worst in a lot of people. But if you treat it like it's a practice, when I say corporate world means you're not the boss. Somebody else is the boss. A lot of people, anybody who has their own business would say, I'm an owner, I'm my CEO of my own company. I find that awesome. But when you're not the CEO of that little company or whatever big company, and you're working for these people, they're gonna grind you. And for every reason so, they have every right to grind you. But you can't control how they feel and what they're going to do and how they're going to operate. But you sure can help yourself and control, or at least remind yourself how much is your limit. Because when you know that limit, you let go. Trust me, I've been there many, many times. Better opportunity comes. But speaking on that end, always make sure, there are a lot of, motivational speakers out there that says, don't have a plan B, go all in and go all out. It might work for these people, but I'm one of the people that is on the other side. I believe plan B is a very important thing. Why do I say that? That's because being a musician, everyone thinks I should work for free. And if there's any musicians out there watching the show right now or watch it later on, you'll know what I mean. People think art, creativity, what we do is easy. What we do should be free. I'm just offering. So that leaves us performers, that leaves creative art people. We have to find other jobs to maintain what we consider is our main passion, main career. Think about it this way. If the world were to flip in a way where creativity is more important, or healing, natural meditation, natural medicine, anything that's natural is the main important factor, then like corporate world, medical world, technology world, I think I'd be a millionaire now. But you know what? When I was younger, I've complained about that before. I was like, why mom and dad raised me to be that performer all the way to the top and all my lessons, all my Steinway grant that I got, they weren't cheap. My parents, I consider that investment, and shout out, love, and respect to all the parents out there for the money that you invest in your kids and everything they do. God bless you. Literally, that is the biggest investment in your life. And you don't even care how you come out at the end of that investment. And I'm grateful for my mom and dad to do that, because you know what? I started playing piano at 6 years old. And that's literally, I'm not going to tell you, it's like 4 decades ago. So imagine what I had to go through on my own and with them. And most of the job for a long time, everyone thinks I do not deserve my skill set for that money, because music shouldn't cost that much. And guess what? I'm still hearing that these days. But in life, you hear it, you don't let it beat you. So my next advice I would give is know your worth. Really, know your worth. But don't tell me if you haven't been through all the skill trainings, or you haven't been through all the experiences, and then right away says, someone should respect me. Someone should pay me. I'm gonna find that very, I'm gonna give you a harsh no, because there are a lot more people out there. There's always somebody out there that has done more than you, that has worked harder than you. But life still hasn't handed them the golden ticket. So in some way or the other, knowing your worth is also knowing what you've done. Is it enough? And if you know you've done that much, don't give it away for free. I find a lot of people, and I'm one included, in a past, recent past too, that, like I said, I thought, hey, if I stick in this situation long enough and aspire and be part of the team, it doesn't matter how much the payment is, blah, 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 depending on the cases, someone's going to see me, someone's going to give me a chance. No, they're going to keep using you. They will keep using you. But it's funny, because my own personal experiences has been, every time it gets to the point that I was like, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted. And my support person, that person I said, when you're in when you're in that place and somebody you trust has to yank you out, it's my mom. And she would always say, baby, it's enough. You gotta stop. And she would advise, and then I will leave that situation. And so far in my life, 90%, those people come back. And what makes me sad is they come back and they pay. And have I known to know what I'm worth, I wouldn't be wasting probably 6 months, a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years when I was younger. Actually, I've been in a job for 7 years and thought that they were going to give me a chance. On and off for 7 years, leaving Taiwan, coming back in New York, and then I thought I was going to get my chance. Never, ever. That one boss of mine will always put me in danger. And he doesn't think so. But when I was working in an environment where I was the only person, and it's a job that requires me to work late, and I am working in the service industry, there's no bus person, there's no assistant. I was me by myself. And the street that I worked on was not the safest place when the restaurant or the bar closes. And I was very blessed. The people who helped me were my customers, first-time customers that later became my friends. But I can't blame my boss for that, because I allow myself to try to prove to this man that don't look at me as a weak girl. I'm strong enough. And I put my own life in danger. There were times when homeless person would come in for something and begging. Sometimes I'll give them my change, or sometimes I give them some water, whatever. But there was one time you can tell this person was not well. He came in and was like had a stick, or I don't remember if it was wood because it was so dark, wood or steel. And I don't know where I got my strength. I wasn't even thinking I was going to get hurt. I literally was so calm. And I swear to this person that if you don't blah, 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 I will blah, 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 blah. And I actually frightened that man. That man was so much bigger than me, even though I had customers around ready to support me. But I handled that situation. And sometimes I look back in that situation, I find myself very lucky. But when you know your worth, you wouldn't put yourself through danger. And in a corporate setting, it may not be like that physically, but sometimes when you work hard and you know you deserve that bonus and somebody takes it away, that's usually the sign for you to tell yourself, okay, it's time to go. But before you go, there's always many ways to address this issue. And if you know you've got enough evidence and proof, you should definitely go tell HR. And it's not about having that bonus or having that money. It's about reporting the situation. I think during my era, people were so afraid to not be able to have a job. And back in the days, that setting was all about corporate. Corporate world was the best. But lives have changed. Every job, any job is important. But to lose your integrity and what people should respect naturally of you, for that, to me, it's definitely not worth it. Right now, the corporate world, after COVID, well, we still have a little bit of COVID, but people, going back to being normal. With COVID, no one is going back to the corporate world right now. So they need people. They do need people. So when they need people, guess what? They will take whomever. This is like investment in like stock. I'm not a financial stock person. My heart is not strong enough for that. But this is definitely the situation where you go in now when people aren't going back, you're going to have a better chance to ask for the requirements and the things that you need, provided that your skill set is strong enough for the corporate company or for the job that you're inquiring to offer to. And that includes, now that tourism is opening, there are plenty of restaurants that cannot hire wait staffs or work staffs to work in their restaurants or hotels or bars. There are plenty of jobs out there. And I find people, that everyone right now, especially the youngsters, they think they can be a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be an influencer and YouTuber. What they're not thinking about is the dark side behind that. And that goes back to what I said again. Are you, do you know your limits? Because for the internet world, for the social media platform, you gotta be tough enough to know you're gonna get attacked a lot faster negatively than you would in a physical corporate setting, because people can hide behind the screen. People hide behind the screen and they're meaner. And I'm not the only one that says it. Everybody who is an influencer, well, at least one is just being kind. Like many people who you don't even know who that is, that will say the meanest thing and they don't even know the truth. But guess what? Because they can hide behind the computer or their phone, they find that easy. But what they're not understanding is when you put those negative energy out there, you don't know what the other person would do. So anybody who wants to get into influencer jobs or YouTubers, be tough if you're going to do that. And I've written down, when I said about the backup plan, when I was younger, I was working 40 to 50 hours just so I can make the money that I know I could live comfortably. But when I was younger, what comfortable to me was not saving. It was what I could have and spend in my living. It took until I was older to realize that that's not making it, because it took a health issue, being sick, to know that, wow, what if I don't have what I call emergency money for my health or for my retirement? I might be on the street. I've thought about that many times, trust me. But when you're in it, and another one, I did put this one in, but I'm going to add one into it. Be wise to choose the friends you have. Surround yourself with people who are positive. Surround yourself with people who are hardworking. They are successful for a reason. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, you can still learn from them. Meaning, look at all these successful people and say, I like that about them. I'm going to take that. I don't like that about them. I'm not going to do it. Most of the time, people are not leaders. They're more followers. So when you surround yourself in a negative energy, you can't help but become that. And I've seen that. And if you don't want to, you're going to be the one that gets bullied, and you're going to be the one that's going to be outcast. And nobody deserves that. Life's too short. No one deserves that at all. You are worth it. And also know, this world needs everybody. I'm one of those people. I believe we're all here for a reason. Don't ever forget about that. If you ever feel sad, lost, just remember what I'm saying. You are important. And if you could do me a favor, tomorrow or sometime this week, spread that out to anyone near you. If you ever hear, like if you're in a situation that feels like this conversation that I'm having with you right now, let that person know that they're important. You'd be surprised when you tell someone that they're important. That could change their life like that. It could pull them out of a funk or out of that dark place. And I've been lucky. When I've been in dark places outside of my mom, has been my students. And guess what? Not my older students. It has been my young students, like my 4 to 7-year-old students. And bless their hearts, they were kind. I find kids are the cutest and the nicest people on earth. And I feel like us adults are the ones that tainted them. We tainted them because they're learning so much from us. There's so much violence out there right now. And I honestly don't blame them, because look what we're giving them. Look at the games that's out there. Look at what we're doing, what politics is doing in the most, sanctuary places for conversations and ruling to assist in our future. It seems like the world and corporate world has been set up for that. A lot of businesses, especially in the corporate world, has been set up like that. Meaning, when I can't communicate kindly and respectfully, we go attack, either negatively or, I don't know, sometimes people get physical. I've seen it happen all the time. So, I believe if any one of us, we don't have to change it, but by changing ourselves, by inspiring ourselves to be a better person, I find that would do a lot for our next generation. Okay, so the backup plans is do 1 or 2 jobs, but try to find jobs that you like. I have many jobs. I always have many jobs, because if one doesn't happen, and I'll make this I'll make my example as a kind of like for you to be thinking about what you can do. As a musician, like I said before, people think I can work for free, and I don't. And I'm probably considered high pay performer out there, especially in singing with my international band. And on that note, I will probably get less singing events and gigs than someone who is a lower rate than me. Plus, with COVID happening, there wasn't any jobs for performing at all. But I actually enjoy teaching. Education, teaching privately was always my #1 income. So performing was kind of like my second. So when I almost transitioned into doing performing for full time. But because I love teaching so much, I stick to it. And then when COVID hit, no performances, I was one of the lucky people that wasn't affected much at all with financial situation. I lived humbly at that point, but I had enough to continue because I was teaching. I had students. And also before that, because of students that were in distant places like Taipei, I live in Kaohsiung, Taipei, and there are people who want to learn from me. Thank you to those parents who were very progressive. They gave me a chance to do remote online teaching. So I was already doing online teaching before COVID hit. So I was able to do online teaching to keep my income coming. So through that, I built my resume. The only thing I do in my life that's free right now, everyone, is when I see it as a long-term investment. Meaning what I'm doing, I will gain an experience that's going to benefit me in the future. Plus, that experience is going to build my resume up. And also, what you would consider free time, what I'm putting and investing and learning and researching and either selling or marketing, they will always come back. Because those kind of, because I'm very active on my social media platform, that kind of experiences, I always ended up getting another job offer somewhere. So, Drew Mei Ying, I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for watching. So, don't ever think that if you're doing a show or if you're doing something and reaching out to someone, people are not watching, people are not listening. That's wrong, wrong, wrong. I think we all want someone we know to watch us. That's always something that happens. We always want someone we know to pay attention to us. But in the real world, those aren't the people that's going to give you jobs. The people who are going to give you opportunities are people you don't know. If your friends are going to love you, your friends and family is going to love you, they're going to love you regardless. But guess what? Most of the time, they're more envy and jealous. Trust me on that. I say that out loud. And it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be angry at them. You don't have to be sad at them. You don't have to blame them. That's because they're also going through hard times, so they can't celebrate you at the moment. But it doesn't mean they don't love you, and it doesn't mean they don't appreciate you. It's just that right now, it's hard for them. But guess what? At the end of the day, you ask yourself, hi, Adrienne, long time no see, sweetheart. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your life. You are responsible for what's going to happen to you when something bad happens. Like, not a lot of people are going to be out there giving you money, especially when inflation is happening everywhere. Trust me, where the market is going, inflation is probably going to be for the next year or two, maybe longer. COVID took almost 3 years and it's still going. So inflation is going to go up. So we need to be prepared. Everything in our life may go up double. So with that being said, when you really calm down and think about it, do you think they have enough to take care of you? Who's going to take care of you? You. And when you just have enough for you, do you have enough for others? Yes. If you can give, Even a little will mean something. If it make, I'm not asking, I'm not saying you need to take care of somebody. If you can do that, all the power to you. Oh man, I wish I'm able to get there someday to be able to help all the people I love. I'm not. And I will be very real and tell you that. I think just as long I would not be a problem to the society and my families and my loved ones, friends and families, loved ones, I've done a good job. So estimate, like I said, know your limits, know your worth, and know that what would it cost for you to have the kind of life that you want. You can dream big, but you got to work for it. But right now, under all these circumstances, what would make you feel when you can have a comfortable life? Okay. And last that I like to offer you that I have found very important to me is seek all options. I've seen people that went from one extreme jobs to another. I'm probably one of them, but I still not that extreme. Everything I'm doing in my life right now regarding education, music, marketing, sales, it's all been something that I've done since I graduated from university. I just don't talk about the marketing and sales part of me as much because that's not the part I find that's the real me. That's more like the skill set that I have, but it's the survival set of myself. My true love, it's music and education and culture. But when the right project comes, and I've been blessed to do that for people, going into a company, like a small company, it could be a media company or a restaurant. I have had the honor and the pleasure to work with these people where I go in, I assess, and I offer my opinions and my suggestions and reshape the company, small to big. And I have find myself very lucky to be able to even have those experiences. But you know what? Unless you put it out there to let people know, because for a long time, people just thought, oh, Cindy, you're just a singer, you're just a pianist, you're a piano teacher, you're a music teacher, what do you know about business? They wouldn't have given me that opportunity. But slowly, maturely, when I had the right, moments to meet the people and I hear them talk, I offer myself. I seek out all options. I say, hey, just to let you know, I've done this at a so-and-so company, and my skill set was this, and I've done this and this and this and this and this. And guess what? Like I said, not everybody is me. There are a lot of people out there that are willing to give you a chance. Offer them something. If you feel like your rate is this, if they can't afford you, cut them a slack. Give them give them a break, because I believe when you're kind to people, people will be kind back. I'm still that, you may call me naive, but that's just how I operate. When I give, I believe people will receive it. But when they don't, that's when you can take action. Like I said earlier, you can take action for yourself and then call it quit. But like I said earlier, 90% of these people have all came back. All has come back and willing to give me that pay. And guess what? My pay went up. Why not? I was doing a lot of free pro bono. I was doing a lot of free stuff before. But I find it very important. With a lot of things I do, I feel good in here. And so far, luckily, no regrets. Because I've learned a lot of hardship from it. But, with those hard life experiences actually became the best life lessons that I've had to protect myself and also to be able to help me move forward. Hi, Uncle Tianfu. Thank you for watching. Okay, so if you have any other thoughts, you can also message me, or if you feel like your business or we can somehow link and collaborate somewhere, definitely don't hesitate to find me on these DM me. And if I have the honor to work with you, I would be totally honored. And let's just see how much time I got, because I am a busy girl. And I thank you all to the people who gives me opportunities to keep me busy. Because right now, this little girl is saving for her dream retirement. That might be another show I can do for you. But I'm not going to reveal to you what my retirement plan looks like. But it looks pretty damn good at the moment. Last but not least, I find this very important, is that cut the bosses a bit of slack lately. I don't think some of them deserves it, trust me. Some of them deserves the karma, some of them don't. Just that COVID wasn't something everybody expected to happen. And I'm sending prayers. I'm constantly meditating as much as I can, but even when I'm not really sit down full on like meditating, every time a thought comes to my mind, this is how I work. I put a prayer out there. And you probably think, oh, is she Christians or this? No, I'm just saying that, there's no wrong. The universe is always listening. There's no wrong that I believe when we feel something here, that universe, the energy is telling us something. So what I would do is, I see something on TV or see something that trigger a thought or a feeling. I would right away and just make a prayer. I'll be like, I hope the world is okay. I hope this is all right. And, send some love out there. Somebody might need it. That's what I do in my life. And I also find that as a tip to keep myself, stay youthful, because I find people who worries a lot, people who are like jewelry. It's like they're not, what's what I'm looking for? They're not grateful for what they have. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of complainers out there. A lot, and you'll see it on their faces. They're just like, they just look tired, and they just look sad, and they just look angry all the time. Have you seen those people? People think I have no worries. I'm gonna call BS again. I got more worries than most people know. But you know why I'm not sharing that, especially on my live streams? It's because we all are way too stressed out over our own lives right now. So why would I put more crap out there when there's plenty enough for you from your own life and everybody else's? So I always thought, if there are people putting negative stuff out there, I might as well put the positivity out for people. And that means I smile at strangers. When someone makes eye contact with me, I smile to people. I smile and I nod. Why, just like, hi, good morning. And I think people think I'm strange, because living in Asia, people are much more reserved. And they think I'm like, who's this girl? Do I know you? And guess what? Sometimes people give me weird looks. I don't care. But sometimes when people smile back at me, especially like my neighbors, I'm happy, because I know I made their day. And I think that's important, because if everybody starts their day happy, usually, even when you hit the shit, first shit today on the live stream, you know in your heart, you've been at that place where you find peace this morning. It's like, no, you're not taking me there. So you're going to go, So, before we go, let's recap. Know your worth, know your limits, have a backup plan, seek all options. Last but not least, don't give too much free. Nothing in life is free. Remember that. No free for your services, for your skill set, and what you work hard for. And also, your envy and jealousy will be your worst enemy. If other people are doing that, don't worry about it. You can control your own to have a happier life. And last but not least, don't feed into your boss or any of your superiors fear and insecurities. It's not worth it. But when you, trust me, I've done it, when you smile and show them that you can't beat me down, guess what? At the end of the day, you are the one that's inspiring them, and they might just change because of you. And in that way, to me, it's a win-win situation. Once again, I'm Sunny Girl Miss Cindy. People call me Cindy Woo, and my nickname was Cindy Woo Woo, hence the WuWu Show. I thank you all for watching this right now or later on when it's uploaded. Most of all, bless your life, live it to the fullest, and be strong and be proud, and always know you're not alone and you are important on earth. People need you and you need people. On that note, happy 4th to my fellow Americans, and have a great morning, great afternoon, or great evening wherever you are in the world. Love to you all. I'll see you guys soon once I find some time to do some other live stream. Bye guys, have a great night.